Tonight, not opening after all.
We just had this anticipation over and over again.
No ribbon cutting for the Gordie Howe Bridge, with an actual opening date very much uncertain. Plus, feeding the region.
What we look at as waste is not necessarily an unvaluable product.
Local efforts to get the most out of our agricultural endeavors. And the fury of the Thames.
It was the most serious or extensive natural disaster London has ever faced.
Looking back on the worst floods in London's history.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight in Windsor, where the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Gordie Howe International Bridge has been cancelled. It was scheduled for tomorrow, but there was still no confirmation on when traffic would actually start flowing. And for more on this latest setback, here's Michelle Molesky.
Sandwich Brewing Company wanted a new beer to commemorate the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge.
We were expecting it to open, sooner. And so we actually, when the beer was finished, we called it Over It.
Owner Nicole Sakella says it's a play on words. Yes, folks in Windsor are ready to drive, bike, or walk across the Gordie, but also
we're so over it and, just waiting.
Just days after sending out invites, the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority canceled the Friday ribbon-cutting ceremony. In a statement, interim CEO Chuck Andery says Canada and the U.S. have agreed to delay the opening of the bridge, taking the necessary time to resolve any outstanding issues. The statement goes on to thank the workers on both sides for their efforts to get the structure ready, but it doesn't say when traffic will roll across.
Nothing surprises me with Donald Trump.
And speaking on AM 800's The Kyle Horner Show hours after the latest delay, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins had a message for Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Because of Trump's tariffs war, trade is down. The Ambassador Bridge is handling the current traffic fine at this particular point in time, and it's just a matter of time before this bridge opens. But don't go on bent knee to Donald Trump over this issue.
A disappointment, says Councillor Fred Francis, noting opening now could have been perfect timing.
With the World Cup taking place today and happening for the next month, and one of the venues being Toronto and cross-border traffic between Canada and the United States, I think it's a vital point to have that bridge open as soon as we can.
Back at Sandwich Brewing, Sakella is once burned, twice shy about opening day excitement.
We just had this anticipation over and over again, and now, you know what, it has to be open for us to believe it now, I think.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Toronto police say one of their officers was fatally shot while executing a search warrant this morning. The second Ontario police officer killed in the line of duty this week. With more on the circumstances leading up to the gunfire, here's Beth McDonnell.
43-year-old Constable Mark Pinizzato was a husband, father to 14-year-old twins, and a Toronto police officer for 18 years. Today, while executing a search warrant, the specially trained member of the emergency task force was shot and killed.
Our teams met with Mark's family at the hospital to confirm this devastating news, and they are grieving a profound loss. Words cannot describe the pain they are feeling.
I happen to know the mom very well for 20 plus years. Their grief is shared across this entire city.
The shooting happened around 5:40 in the morning at a residential tower near Black Creek Drive and Trethewey Drive. There was an exchange of gunfire. The Special Investigations Unit says Pinizzato entered a fourth-floor unit when a suspect fired the first shot.
A man discharged his firearm at an officer, resulting in the officer being struck. A second officer returned fire, and the man was struck multiple times.
A 19-year-old suspect is in custody, sent to hospital in critical condition. Police say Pinizzato was rushed to Sunnybrook, but despite heroic efforts, did not survive. The tower where Pinizzato was shot is the same building where last summer 8-year-old Javai Roy was hit by a stray bullet and killed. In this case, many woke up to the sound of sirens and saw tactical officers with guns. Police have been guarding the lobby and the unit where shots were fired.
I was terrified. Like, I was so scared because I'm looking out the window. I'm like, oh my gosh, not again.
And then when I went to drop my daughter off at the school bus, I seen all the blood and stuff in the lobby.
From Sunnybrook, Pinizzaro's body was carried in a procession to the coroner's office. The grief and sadness of this day overwhelming for his fellow officers. This police salute a show of solidarity. Described as a dream recruit, they have now lost one of their own in the line of duty. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Good evening. A steamy evening across the southern Ontario. The heat was on this afternoon and that continues into tonight. The temperatures will start to dip down, but expect muggy conditions to hold. Still by about 10 to 11 tonight. It'll still feel close to 30. Tracking a cold front that's en route through the overnight. That'll bring the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. We did have some rainfall earlier in the day through Elgin County, Middlesex and London and Oxford towards Woodstock. That rain has now moved off to the east. Lots of instability though, so the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms will return to the area as we edge toward midnight. So anywhere between 10 and 11 p.m. there is the potential for some storms bubbling up. Temperature will dip down to 21 degrees at midnight, but we're not cooling off just yet. Comfort levels will be improving as we head into your Friday with the passage of a cold front. I'll take you through the weekend weather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle?
Thanks, Julie. An agricultural symposium was held in Thorndale today aimed at maximizing the farming economy in our region. With more on the main concerns in focus, here's Jerry Dewan.
Community leaders, food system partners, and agricultural stakeholders from across Middlesex County gathered to tackle some of the most pressing issues facing the food supply.
There is no untangling the circular economy. It's all going to connect around again.
Justine Daynard is Smart Cities project manager for Wellington County. She gave the featured address at the symposium. Smart Cities has spearheaded a number of initiatives to address food affordability, agricultural sustainability, and environmental resilience.
We're looking at the whole food system and trying to make sure that we're learning how to live in a climate-friendly way and not leave anyone behind.
Middlesex County's Director of Human Services, Joe Windsor, says rural communities have increasingly been impacted by food insecurity, with a growing number of people seeking some form of assistance.
For 6,000 people who have access to services within Middlesex County alone, which is a huge number for our smaller communities.
The start of a new growing season is all about potential yields, potential revenues, and for those taking part in the symposium, the potential to help as many people as possible. Retired poultry and crop farmer Diane McComb says it's critical to look for efficiencies at every stage of the food chain.
What we look at as waste is not necessarily an unvaluable product. It could be valuable somewhere else in our food chain.
Thames Centre Deputy Mayor Michelle Smybert says farmers and farm communities need to be supported.
They're the ones that do it day in and day out, and they likely know what's best kind of moving forward in terms of trying to address some of the challenges with food insecurity and also protecting prime ag land.
The symposium was hosted by the Middlesex London Food Policy Council, an organization dedicated to identifying food system challenges and supporting policy change through collaboration. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Provincial police say they're investigating a serious crash near Ingersoll. They posted these images of the scene from this morning, saying the crash involved a transport truck and a pickup on Carlyle line. According to police, the person driving the pickup pulled directly in front of a transport carrying a load of metal. They say that caused the transport to roll over while the other vehicle ended up in the ditch. Police say the person driving the pickup truck has serious injuries but will recover. The transport driver has minor injuries. Local researchers say a new medical imaging scanner could help them detect diseases earlier, improving diagnostics and better understanding workplace injuries. As Rita Ismail reports, it's the first technology of its kind in Canada.
This is the future of medical imaging. Canada's first Siemens Biograph 1 PET MRI scanner, and it's now operational at Lawson Research Institute of St. Joseph's Healthcare in London. The $8 million piece of technology combines two powerful imaging tools into one, allowing researchers an unprecedented look inside the human body.
Biograph 1 is a very exciting piece of technology in the sense that it increases the sensitivity of the PET system and the MRI system, brings in all of the new technology that has been developed in the last 15 years or so in MR and PET, all in one machine.
The scanner allows researchers to see not only the structure of organs and tissues, but also what's happening inside the body's cells in real time. Scientists say the technology could help identify diseases earlier, and researchers are also exploring its potential to improve understanding of mental health conditions such as depression and bipolar disorder.
These diseases are difficult to differentiate early on. Most people that present to medical attention with depressed symptoms get treated with antidepressants. And so it means a large number of people with bipolar disorder get the wrong diagnosis, get the wrong medication. And so the diagnosis itself is important, but even more important is the type of medication that you'll respond to.
The technology was made possible through a $65 million investment from the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, helping launch Lawson's Workplace Injury Research Network.
WSIB receives over 238,000 claims every year from people who are injured or ill as a result of the workplace. And our role and our mission is to support them and reduce the devastation that causes by these injuries and illnesses. So having investments such as today really helps us to understand and to evolve science so that we can treat, prevent, diagnose those injuries more effectively and get people back to work.
Researchers say the scanner will support studies into chronic pain, occupational stress injuries, and neurological diseases, with the hope of improving treatment and recovery outcomes for workers across Ontario. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Crown lawyers presented digital forensic evidence today at the murder trial in St. Thomas. They argue it shows a link between a 22-year-old woman and the 53-year-old man accused of killing her. Nick Paparella reports.
Earlier in the trial, dozens of disturbing images showing the badly beaten body of 22-year-old Caitlin Jennings were shown by the Crown. Her body was discovered by London police inside this home at 562 Kingsway Avenue in West London on July 5th of 2023. But on this day, Detective Constable Stephen Robertson testified about photos taken of the accused, 53-year-old David Yates, minutes after his arrest. The Crown claims that after Caitlin died, Yates attempted suicide and drove himself to the hospital. The officer said several photos show he's wearing a hospital bracelet. A photo of his left hand shows gauze wrapped around the wrist. In other photos, he says, on Mr. Yates' left foot, there's significant injuries. There is sutures and blood. Once in custody, Yates, who was Caitlin's one-time boyfriend, is charged with second-degree murder. He is pled not guilty. Later in the day, there was digital forensic evidence from a laptop and cell phone seized from Yates. When she got a hold of Yates' iPhone 13 Pro Max, Kim Seward, a digital forensic officer, started downloading information. In and around the time of the killing, she said the iPhone user was searching something pertaining to suicide. She added there was a search on Safari by the device user showing different arteries of the body. From an image captured on a Google Nest in the living room, you see both the victim and the accused on July 2nd, the day before the Crown believes she was killed. With the Crown's case drawing to a close, the defense is expected to start with its evidence next week. In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Councillor Elizabeth Pelosa is providing another update in her cancer battle, reflecting on the importance of National Blood Donor Week. On tonight's edition of Healing in the Public Eye, she shares her experience of going from blood donor to recipient.
This morning, my doctor asked if I had ever received a blood transfusion, as I needed to receive one as my hemoglobin levels were low. I've been honored to have been a 54 times over Canadian Blood Services donor, This is my first transfusion, so humbly thank you to those who donate.
I was hospitalized with pneumonia and already having really no immune system due to chemotherapy. The doctors came in and with a bag of blood product and said, you know, have you had a transfusion before? And that was a first. I'm used to giving the gift of life, but never having received it.
This week is National Blood Donor Week. Canadian Blood Services needs to welcome over 1 million new donors by 2030. And the reason for that is the need for blood is increasing by 10%, as well as plasma by 50%.
When summer vacation comes, we're out of town, we're prioritizing things differently, and the donations drop. And the demand stays the same, so it's really important to schedule those appointments.
It's actually a little bit moving, having the counselor here right now. It's sometimes it feels like you're just kind of donating what's going into a bottle, but it's very nice to know it is going to help real people.
I miss it. It's an opportunity I can't take, and it's going to be years until I can take that again. So a really public call of all those donations I would be doing weekly. I need people to step up and help fill my seat and the seats of those who actually want to donate but can't.
A new play is about to premiere in Blyth, kicking off the community's Summer Theatre Festival. For more on the show and its connection to local and Canadian history, here's Scott Miller.
In 1978, 80 women working at a Huron County automotive wiring factory changed Canadian labor law forever.
I didn't know about this, and I consider myself a feminist. I know that our playwright, Kristen De Silva, she didn't know about it, and when she discovered it, her first thing was she immediately started looking up, going, where's the play about this? Where's the movie? And there wasn't one.
Is that true? Now there is. The Sisters of 78, a dramatization based on the strike at Fleck Manufacturing in Centralia, is now in previews at the Blyth Festival Theatre. The 5-month-long strike, based on horrific working conditions, low wages, and workplace harassment, involved heavy-handed police intervention and government meddling to try and break the all-female work crew. But they persevere, securing the first-ever sexual harassment clause in a Canadian labor agreement and bringing women's workplace rights to the forefront of every labor negotiation from that point forward.
The fact that so many people sat up and paid attention, and this small group of women, like what they did, what they accomplished across the country moving forward, and the impact they made, it can't be underestimated.
For those recreating the female strikers' perilous journey against all odds, it has been a harsh reminder of the conditions women dealt with less than 50 years ago.
When you tell people that in the year before this play, 1977, that was the first year women could have a credit card in their own name, that blows my mind. Like, I take so many of these rights for granted, and I take the fact that I can walk in the world as an equal person for granted.
The world premiere of Sisters of 78 has its official opening Friday night in Blyth.
Just seeing a moment when women changed history, I think is really inspiring for me, because there are lots of things happening in the world that sometimes make me feel powerless. And it's been really inspiring to work with these characters, work with Kristen De Silva's beautiful text, and also be in the room with these powerful women.
In Blyth, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A summer launch party is underway at Museum London. For more on what's new this season, we join Lauren Stallone, who's live on location for us tonight. Lauren, over to you.
Thanks, Carlyle. There's lots to celebrate here at the museum, including this beautiful exhibit that we are in. Now, I'm joined by Abby Vincent with the museum. Abby, tell us a little bit about what's to come this summer and why we're gathered here tonight.
For sure. Thanks for joining us. We're getting ready tonight for our summer launch party, and we'll be launching 5 new installations and exhibitions, including the one we're standing in right now, which is called Mother Ground, and it comes to us from the Winnipeg Art Gallery.
And we're kind of matching the exhibit with the black and white. It's beautiful. I know that there's a lot more to come tonight for people coming out to the event. Can you tell us what that's going to be looking like?
For sure. Our season's guiding question for summer 2026 is, how can we imagine a future of joy? And all of the exhibitions and installations we're celebrating tonight center children and kind of childlike innocence, inspiration, imagination. And so we have a number of programs on this evening for a launch party that respond to that theme. We've got guided tours with artists, meet and greets with curators, live performances, and creative activities in our studio as well.
Perfect. And the event starts at 7 tonight, so for anyone who wants to come and make their way down, can they still do that, and how do they get in?
Absolutely. Like any other day of the year, we're open by donation at the door. Everyone is welcome, and they can find out more information at our website, which is museumlondon.ca.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Abby. We'll have to stay tuned for what the summer is going to look like. I'll send it back to you right now, Carlyle, and anyone wanting to come out. It's not too late to come on down to the museum. Back to you.
All right, Lauren, thanks very much. Coming up, the World Cup kicks off. The latest from Canada's host cities before our tournament debut tomorrow.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. Oxford OPP say they are investigating more pride flag thefts in Norwich Township. Police say between June 5th and 8th, flags were stolen from multiple locations, including private residences and a church. Those cases are in addition to a pride flag stolen from Emily Stowe Public School, and they're asking anyone with useful information to contact them. The FIFA World Cup officially kicked off this afternoon in Mexico City, with Canada's turn now less than 24 hours away. With the latest on preparations in Toronto and Vancouver for this historic sporting moment, here's Heather Wright.
4,000 kilometers from where the World Cup officially kicks off today in Mexico City, a mariachi band opened the festivities at Toronto's Fan Fest. A sea of green, with Mexican fans coming out to watch their team kick off the 2026 World Cup.
Viva Mexico! We are so far from Mexico right now, but we can feel the vibe right here in Toronto.
Toronto's official World Cup motto is "The World in a City," fitting for the most diverse city on the planet. These friends traveled from Mexico to Toronto just to experience the atmosphere of a World Cup.
I mean, you ask all these people around here, they're from all over the country, all over the world, to come and watch a match, so it's exciting.
Toronto will host 6 matches over the next 3 weeks, while 7 will take place in Vancouver. Residents can expect road closures, heavy traffic, and detours on game days, with both cities asking people to park their cars at home and take transit. Canada opens its tournament tomorrow here in Toronto, and Mayor Olivia Chow says the city is ready.
Thousands of people working together. We are so ready. The world has arrived to the city of Toronto.
No World Cup is without controversy, and ticketing has been a big one this year. Much of the criticism has been leveled at FIFA and its dynamic pricing strategies, which has led to some of the most expensive World Cup tickets ever. The city of Toronto has also faced backlash over its decision to resell its tickets to corporations at a higher price, a move the mayor defended as a way to keep costs down.
No property taxpayer has to pay to host this game.
So a total of 2 matches today in Mexico, with things kicking off here in Canada tomorrow. Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. That match goes at 3 p.m. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Julie's on the desk with me now, and the big story, at least for me when I've gone outside, weather-wise, has been the humidity. You like to call it the air you can wear, and it has felt heavy all week.
For sure. It's been one of those weeks with daytime highs in the upper 20s, approaching 30, and the humidex near 40. So this time of year, when we get into that kind of heat and humidity, it's definitely tough to get used to that, especially if you are doing outdoor activity or you have to work outside. Our daytime high coming into the upper 20s today, but we're not getting much relief at night, and that's kept this heat warning in effect for Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, and Sarnia, where temperatures are still holding close to 30. It feels like the upper 30s, so near 40. In London, still feeling like the mid 30s. So when's the break coming? Well, the cold front's on the move for tonight, and that front will push across the area with the chance of showers and thunderstorms. It looks like things will be fairly quiet through the late evening, the probability dropping off just briefly, but lots of instability in advance of this front. So chance for light rainfall, as I mentioned, overnight, and the possibility of some thunderstorms as that front starts to come through. It'll be edging its way across the lower Great Lakes as we head into tomorrow morning, and a westerly flow will develop behind it. That westerly wind will start to usher in the cooler temperatures, and the humidity will start to drop off. Now, as we take a look at the satellite radar, you can see a front, and that's dividing some cooler air to the northwest. Again, that will be funneling across the Great Lakes Basin over the coming days, and you can notice that by the temperature grid. As we look at at temperatures across the prairies, it is much cooler. We do have some heavy rainfall moving through the northern part of the prairie provinces. And again, some heat-related warnings in southern Ontario. That warmth has now moved out to the Maritimes. Temperatures are quite hot on the east coast as well. In our area overnight, still very warm. Again, likely some thunderstorms anytime after about 11 p.m. until 2 a.m., that risk window. And then as we head toward tomorrow morning, the front will start to come through. And then as a result, the humidity will be dropping off. Now, it's still going to feel close to 30 tomorrow afternoon, but not close to 37. So that's a bit better. And by Saturday, you'll be breathing some nice, gorgeous conditions with lower humidity and some fresher air. Overnight, anywhere between 18 and 19 degrees. Temperatures along the shoreline of Huron and Erie, 20 to 21. So this is the cold front coming in. So it looks to hit Essex County a bit harder between about 11 and 1 a.m. And then as it progresses eastward, you can see most of it starts to fall apart. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to see some redevelopment. So watching that, of course, but it'll be coming through overnight. So hopefully it'll come through fairly quiet. Then as we head into your Friday morning, cloudy to start. By Friday afternoon, we're back into a mix of sun and cloud. We have a gorgeous day setting up for Saturday. Plenty of sunshine out there. It's going to be a gorgeous one across the region, and temperatures will be nice and comfortable. By Sunday, another cold front comes in, and that's when we have the chance for a bit more rainfall. So your Friday forecast will come in at 25 degrees in the afternoon. And again, breezy conditions out of the west, especially towards Midwestern Ontario. Your winds will be gusting upwards of about 50 kilometers. Saturday, it'll be nice first thing in the morning because you'll notice the humidity will be quite low, but it's going to get hot in the afternoon. So if you are a early morning exerciser, or that's when you like to get your walk in, you will enjoy that start to the day. 31, though, it's going to get quite hot and steamy in the afternoon, but the humidity will be tolerable. Then Sunday, the cold front comes in with a 40% chance of showers at 24, 23 on Monday with full sunshine. And temperatures take a bit of a dip early next week, 21 Tuesday into Wednesday, and we could see some showers on Thursday. No big weather systems bringing a steady rainfall in this forecast, so just dodging some showers in the extended forecast. But there are areas in our region that didn't see a whole lot of rain over the past few days. So, of course, the showers and thunderstorms have been hit and miss. Some counties not picking up anything at all in terms of measurable moisture. So, again, there is the chance once across our area overnight, but most of the activity looks confined to the southwest. We could see a little bit more action towards London 2 to 3 a.m. Lots of sunshine Saturday, Midwestern Ontario. You'll heat back up, but cooler along that lakeshore of Huron, and a 40% chance of showers on Sunday. We'll start the week with sunshine and temperatures cooling off just a bit by midweek. Carlyle, much improved, I would say, forecast. Not feeling like a sauna outside over the next 7 days, and we have a nice sunny day on the way for Saturday.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, work perk rescinded. A former employee told he has to pay back a benefit after his company moved headquarters away from his home.
It is squeaky bum time. Yes, you heard that correctly. The FIFA World Cup is officially underway. Canada has their first game tomorrow at 3, and I'm going to make sure you're prepared. You have everything you need to know. Join me tomorrow morning at 8:15 to get ready for the game.
The company behind the Grok AI chatbot and the social media platform X has been found in violation of Canada's privacy law.
Given the serious risks for Canadians' fundamental right to privacy and the potential harms, I initiated an investigation on this issue into X Corp and XAI. The investigation has found that X Corp and XAI violated Canada's federal private sector privacy law by launching the Grok AI-powered image generation tool without implementing appropriate safeguards from the outset. This lack of protection allowed users to create and share sexualized deepfakes, largely targeting women and children. According to researchers, Grok was at one point generating well over 6,000 sexualized images per hour.
The Federal Privacy Commission has made several recommendations, which include suspending the chatbot until all appropriate safeguards can be put in place. However, Commission officials say the company has not accepted to do that, and there's no way to enforce it. Both XAI and X Corp are owned by Elon Musk's SpaceX. An Ontario man is in a dispute with his former employer over a work perk he's being asked to pay back. The money was meant to help workers buy a home, but after doing so, the man says his office then got relocated much farther away. Spencer Turcotte reports.
J.S. Borley loves living in Acton.
It's a beautiful backyard, working on the grass. But yeah, we love it here.
He thanks his former employer, Crozier, for helping him buy a house. The engineering firm introduced a first-time homebuyers assistance program in 2021.
They'll give you up to $20,000 to purchase a house on the commitment that you stay there for 3 years. Without that, I don't think we'll be able to have done that.
And as long as the employee stays for the 3 years, the $20,000 doesn't have to be paid back. Jayesh accessed the program in 2024. Things were going great, and he only had a short commute from Acton to the office in Milton. Then things changed in 2025.
The company made an announcement that they're going to actually be relocating the Milton office to Burlington.
Jayesh felt that move went against the spirit of the retention program.
If I ought to have known, or if they would have informed me, I would have changed my decision to move to Acton.
He says it more than doubled his commute time and expenses, so he resigned from the company. But now Jayesh says Crozier wants their nearly $20,000 back.
They have the claim amount here, that they also want to claim interest.
A statement from Crozier to CTV News says in part, all participants agreed to the program's terms before receiving any benefit, including a repayment provision if they choose to resign before those terms are met. Jayesh recognizes that he did leave before his term was up, but says
the move contradicts the program that they have established. Well, I signed this agreement under the idea that they'll be staying in Milton. Never in anybody's head, or in at least my head, that they'll be moving this far away.
So in this case, a program designed to help employees put down roots is uprooting both sides in a potential legal battle. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index was up on strength in the energy and base metal sectors. The TSX gained 520 points. In New York, the Dow added 930, the Nasdaq up 640. The Canadian dollar fell 1/3 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold lost close to $20 an ounce and oil dropped $2.32 a barrel. When we come back, the wrath of the Thames River, 2 floods that changed the course of London's history. Welcome back. We are looking back at the biggest stories in London's history, shaping this city over the course of the last 2 centuries. Tonight, we're going back to 2 of London's deadliest and most damaging floods and the steps taken since then to make sure they don't ever happen again. With more, here is Sean Irvin.
Throughout London's history, the Thames River has been both friend and foe. It has enriched our lives and taken them in 2 devastating floods.
A wall of water came down the north branch of the Thames and just plowed into London West.
It could be argued that Londoners should have expected it. Centuries before the first Europeans arrived, Indigenous tribes knew the area around the forks of the Thames was a good place to grow crops, but not to live. The low-lying basin to the west and south of present-day downtown was prone to flooding, often suddenly.
If you were east of the river, you were pretty much up on a hill, but if you were west of the river, you were actually on a floodplain.
But the draw and convenience of being near the Thames encouraged growth from London's founding in 1826. By the early 1880s, residents had become used to flooding and the damage events could cause. But in July of 1883, the Thames unleashed its fury. Eldon House resident Lucy Harris witnessed the sudden rage of the river. It was just after midnight. She immediately wrote in her diary.
She said when she saw the water go by, she was well up, she could see, and I pray for the people in London West. I pray for them right now. God help them.
Many had turned in for the evening when the raging waters came through. They didn't stand a chance.
A wall of water that just came down all at once and actually moved houses right off of their foundations, such as they were, knocked them over on their sides, and actually carried entire buildings right down the river.
The first deaths were the elderly and young children, including a boy washed over a small dam, never to be seen again. The raging river spared no mercy.
We're seeing tragedies like a mother trying to pass her baby down to somebody in a boat, but somehow the force of the water slammed her arm against a tree and the house, and the baby was crushed.
18 London residents would die in the flood of 1883, but their loss would not teach residents a lesson about the Thames. Quickly, homes were rebuilt, often on the same foundations. Over the next 50 years, some flood measures were added, but they would not be enough to stop the most powerful flood in London's history.
It was the most serious or extensive natural disaster London has ever faced.
On and off heavy rains had fallen on London the last 2 weeks of April 1937. The backyards of homes near Clark's Bridge, the Coves, Blackfriars and Broughdale were flooded. Alarms did not sound. Then an unexpected snowstorm, followed by a sudden melt, overwhelmed the river at a reported rate of 30 centimeters or a foot an hour. Unlike in 1883, evacuation crews were called in. Irene Pascoe was just 14 years old when the flood hit. Interviewed for a CFPL TV documentary in the 1980s, she recalled waiting with her family to be shuttled to safety. They'd fled their home in the span of an hour as services, one by one, shut down.
Pretty soon, the hydro was off and the heat, and there were no transistor radios, so we really couldn't tell what was happening, and it was getting dark, and the water was then starting to come through the registers on the floor.
Now, at the height of the flooding, water levels reached an astounding 23 feet or 7 meters above normal flows. The situation was growing desperate, and first responders now had to take chances to save lives. Rescuer Joseph Britton paid the ultimate price.
Terrible accident in the sense that this was one of the boat rescuers. He got out of his boat and fell into an open manhole and was sucked under and drowned that way.
It was the only recorded death in the flood that had injured 35 and displaced hundreds, recounted late historian Orlo Miller.
There were hundreds of people, it seemed like, in the armories, lying on cots and some moaning. Most of the moaning and the groaning and the crying was just at the loss of property, not of people.
While looting had taken place in 1883, this time Londoners, in the depths of the Depression, helped each other. Charity came in many forms, including a concert hastily organized by the most famous citizen of London at the time. Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians raised $150,000. But with as much as $115 million in today's currency and property loss, the assistance was a mere drop in the bucket. Most residents were uninsured and vowed never to return to live by a river they now feared.
What had been a source of pleasure, a source of power, a source of water, had all of a sudden become an enemy, and people just turned their back on it.
But for the poor and struggling, there was no choice but to patch up their moldy homes.
And this was it, was all I had. And I had to go back for a long, long while after. When it rained, you could smell that dirty flood.
But as the decades advanced, many homes were publicly acquired, including along Front Street on the south side of Clark's Bridge at Wellington Road. More than 50 residences damaged by the flood were torn down by 1975. Today, the site is largely green space. The aftermath of the 1937 flood led to other changes for London, including talk of a permanent dam and reservoir. While the war would delay planning, Fanshawe Dam went online in 1953.
That was a huge improvement for the City of London because finally the Thames could be controlled.
But while the Thames is now seemingly tamed, historians agree it is best we never forget its might. In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Tomorrow on CTV News, Sarnia's mayor urging the provincial government to review the Safe Supply program, saying more oversight is needed to protect patients and the community. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Oh, look at that blue water. Thanks, Elle, for sending this photo in. This was taken in Owen Sound, a gorgeous shot of Georgian Bay. Risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight as a cold front moves in. Less humid conditions on Friday, but back into a mix of sun and cloud, and lots of sunshine in the forecast for Saturday.
A new fire hall opened up today in southeast London. This was the official grand opening at Fire Station 15 at the corner of Hamilton and Old Victoria Road. It was commissioned to celebrate London's bicentennial at a cost of $7 million, staffed with 5 firefighters.
Definitely needed, and we strive to be very proactive, watch the trends of where neighborhoods are filling in, where industry is coming into London, to ensure that we have fire halls in areas to make our response within the time frame that we want to be able to respond.
Officials with the London Abused Women's Centre say a grant from the Ontario Trillium Foundation will help provide mobile support for human trafficking victims.
When we think of human trafficking, it's hard to think of anything that is more vile or more insidious.
The grant is worth close to $290,000, which will pay for a project coordinator and outreach worker who will travel to women's shelters in London and Woodstock, providing in-person counseling to trafficking victims.
The nuances around trafficking are so complex, not to suggest that, intimate partner violence isn't, any different or less than trafficking. But the amount of, for example, trust it takes for a woman to open up about what she's been subjected to, for example, it's a lot different. And so we need programs that are designed specific to support women who have been trafficked.
It's time for your London list, a rundown of events coming up this weekend. We're joined by Weaver from Afternoons on Pure Country. Let's start with a country artist kicking off tonight.
Tonight is Tim Hicks at London Music Hall, and if you've never seen Tim live, he always describes himself to me as Def Leppard with a banjo. If that's your type of thing, check this show out. It is going to be a great performance at London Music Hall. If it's not your type of thing, we do have options over at the Huron Country Playhouse. The Tony Award-winning beloved 42nd Street will be showing till the end of June. So lots of options if you're a fan of musicals and want to have a great time.
All right, from musicals to World Cup.
Yeah, World Cup's on. People across the city are going to be watching, and you can visit some local watering holes. Canadian Brew House, Joe Cool's downtown to see these watch parties. I think it's going to just keep building as we get closer to the final.
All right, and Pond Fest is going on. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Hyde Park BIA Pond Fest. They've done this for a while now. This year is going to be everything you're looking for in summer in one spot. Runs from 1 p.m. till 11 p.m. on Saturday, and there's going to be live music, food trucks, just a good outdoor atmosphere, Lots of green, lots of smiles, just a good time.
I love this time of year. There are so many great events, including one that has to do with dragon boats.
Yeah, the Fanshawe Dragon Boat Festival is on this weekend. You can also check out the Butterfly Festival. I should also mention the Family Summer Fair at Plunkett Estate. That's Saturday afternoon. There's a dog costume contest, which I will be judging at 1 o'clock.
No way!
Yeah, I might even dress up myself. So if you're willing to see that, come down, have a great time.
I'm sure people would be willing to see that. All right, that's a jam-packed weekend. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, the week wraps up with the Forest City London Music Awards Volume 2 Sunday night. It's Forest City London Music Awards week this week. We're celebrating music in this great city, lots to offer, and the final set of awards, they had to split this thing up, goes down Sunday night.
All right, thanks so much, Weaver. That's your London list, and we'll see you next time.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A developing story now from City Hall where.
Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a renovation project at a century-old library. The building straddles the Canada-U.S. border between Quebec and Vermont. And after the Trump administration limited access last year to Canadians, residents took it upon themselves to build a loophole. Sweeta Rassi reports.
These are the first people to officially walk through the new Canadian entrance. The Haskell Free Library sits on the Canada-U.S. border. The main entrance is in Vermont, but for generations, there was an unspoken rule. The people in Stansted, Quebec were allowed to walk around the building, cross into the U.S., and just simply walk in the library.
Fermé.
But last year, the Trump administration ended that arrangement.
I guess there's the symbolism of being told, no, you can't use the front door, use the back door, the service entrance or whatever.
So instead, Canadians had to take a detour.
Having Canadians enter through an illogical side door that required them to go up multiple flights of stairs, go through the Opera House, come down the stairs, get into the library, that's not setting a welcoming or a sense of belonging. It's really sending the opposite message.
Vermont State Treasurer Mike Pichak framed that message simply.
You really have a choice. You can either build a wall or you can build a bridge.
So the community decided to build a bridge, or rather, a door located on the Canadian side. It cost nearly $700,000, and people from all over the world pitched in.
People from California, people from Europe, people from, I'm telling you, from all around the country. Wow.
They saw the fruit of their labor, a new Canadian entrance and an end to the detour. For some U.S. residents, this entire ordeal was a step too far.
Oh, I think it's ridiculous. The closing of the entrance, it's ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, we love Canada. Yeah. We love our Canadian neighbors.
For the mayor of Stansted, Jody Stone,
we found a way, and here we are today.
That even in divided times, the two communities will always keep a door open for each other. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News, Stansted.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. And for all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.